Welcome to the Faith in the Wild podcast, where the path is rarely straight, but always sacred. I'm Nicole Moran.
And I'm Angelica McCarthy. For 20 years, we've been walking this journey of life together, stumbling, rising, and discovering God's presence in unexpected places.
Today, we're creating space for conversation and reflection, inviting you to venture into the wilderness with us, because sometimes the most profound truths are found when we step off the marked trails and trust that we're exactly where we need to be.
So take a deep breath, open your heart, and join us as we explore what it means to have faith in the wild.
Happy Monday morning.
Happy Monday morning.
What a
On this beautiful day in November already, middle of November. But it's a good day.
It is a good day.
Yeah.
It's a little chilly.
A little chilly.
You have a blanket.
I came dressed for this, so.
Yes, you did.
Good morning.
Look at you.
Yes.
Look at you. What a week it's been.
Yeah, tell me about it.
What a week.
Tell me about the themes of life. We're going to be talking about consistency today, and I'm sure that has a little bit to do with.
I think that has a lot to do with these last weeks. If I had to think about it, these last weeks or especially this last week, it's like, okay, Lord, these are all the things. How are we going to go get them? I'm like,
yeah.
I feel you with me. I feel the course, trusting, surrendering. It's like, okay, but how do we go get it? Right. And I think that's where, to me, consistency comes up. Consistency is really that ability to continue to be present and show up when it's not always going right, when it is going right, and everywhere in between.
Yes. That so resonates with me. The how. Okay. How though? Like, and it feels even heavier. It'd be one thing to just, okay, I'll go figure it out, or ask chat, or some things just seem like, okay, this will work. But because it feels bigger, it feels heavier in all the good ways. It feels like a bigger impact, the purpose of what we're looking to be. It just, the how feels even more daunting, and the consistency is even more daunting depending on the day, because of the how or the doubts or oh my goodness, we could list all the fears, all the bull on the right side of the column that'll get in the way of what we're doing, what we're setting out to do.
I think you summarize it right. What I love when you tell it's like you get stuck in between your ears, right?
Yes.
Stuck in your head. So I think I love when you say that, because it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense, right? You're away from here, right?
Yes.
Your soul, your heart, your drive, and you're just stuck up here, like rattling around like a pinball machine up there. It's like, get out.
Yes. That was me all weekend.
Oh,
it was between, and everything in me was trying to get back to the body, just trying to continue to get back to grounding. And it worked, but it didn't really hold. And that's where I'm like, you know what? I think I'm supposed to rest. I'm not supposed to force this, because he comes to us in the rest and the silence and the stillness, and everything in me intuitively wanted to get back to a sense of stillness and quiet.
Yeah.
And maybe I did go find myself doing things. The stillness and the silence didn't last too much longer, but I did things that didn't force me to be anything other than who Angelica wanted to be that moment. So
to be present, because I do want to say,
yes,
consistency doesn't equal your how. So like, let's just differentiate that too.
Yes.
So we talk about consistency to figure out like how are we supposed, like what step are we supposed to take? And some of it is in the pause, right? Some of it is in the stillness. Some of it is in the reflection, and a lot of it's in the surrender. So, for myself, with all of us, right? All of us listening, you and I here today, we wear multiple hats within a day, sometimes it's within an hour or even a couple minutes.
Yes.
And being able to find the consistency, not to get, I always say it's like a tornado, right? Like you get down the one rabbit hole and then it just kind of like keeps going and keeps going and you can't get yourself out of it. I think the consistency to me equals your why and more than your how to get you out of those moments to find that ability to take that next step forward. So, for me, it's less, we said it's the how, right? So like, how do we keep moving forward with within our faith, within the drive of the purpose that we're trying to build and alongside of Christ. And, how do we find that? And for me, that was, I just wanted to differentiate that it's not necessarily consistency doesn't equal our how.
Yeah.
A lot of this is built in our why.
Yes.
So I don't know. That was just kind of a thought.
That was great that you said that, because we're in a world where we have to achieve, it's the measure is achievement. That measure of success and impact is, oh, I did this.
Right.
And what if it is, what if it is who you are? That actually is the better measure, which it honestly is.
Mm-hmm.
If we think about how what we were brought here to, who we're brought here to be, we're supposed to be in the image of, we're the image of God, image of Jesus.
Christ,
it's so, but it's very easy to forget that. And whether you're a believer of that or not, it still is to say there are a lot of things out here that distract us.
Yes.
Talked about distractions. So if we're so intuitively know that what our purpose is, and there are those things that get in the way, we have to come back to that, and that consistency, that is that through line. No matter if it is that tornado that wants to take us, off to Oz, or if it is, or if it is just, okay, tornado, and then we come back to the center to then continue to whether we funnel or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate you speaking to it's not the how, because everything in my journal is probably, as of late, it's like, Lord, just show me how, and just as much as I say that, there has to be the surrender of it, and show me who, if anything, too. Show me who I'm supposed to be in all of this, so that I can keep showing up the way that I'm supposed to be showing up, of intention, of truth, of what you're calling me to impact and show and serve and provide and all of the things. I don't want this for me. Like, yeah, survival is real. Like, you want it for survival, but that doesn't matter. Your survival is a thing that we're going to innately do. That's an instinct. That's not, it's not something to where it's like, oh, I don't want to unless you so choose, but it's your body is going, our bodies are going to find a way to keep surviving.
Yeah.
So why are we stuck in that?
Yeah.
That mindset of survival versus
surrender
and calling and purpose, and God is his faithfulness, like faith is that thing.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that I think of when I think of consistency, just to kind of like peel some of the layers back, right? So redefining, like, it's not your how, right? It's more driven by your why, right? I just totally lost my mindset.
You got it. You'll find it.
But I was also going to say, I know. So I was also going to say, like, we think of consistency and we're like, okay, so how long do I have to do that for? Right? Like, how long do I have to be consistent in my faith, in my walk, in my surrender? Like, when's it going to happen? Right? Because we live in this culture of this immediacy, this like all or nothing mentality of like, okay, so if I do this, this is going to happen. False. Maybe true sometimes, but also probably false.
Surrender that outcome.
right?
We want to talk about surrender again.
Right. We want to talk about surrendering. And so I think when we talk about consistency, again, just want to call out these other things where it's not like, okay, if I do this for 30 days, right? We see these 30-day challenge. How many days does it take to change a habit? I think research was 21. Now I'm hearing 50 some these days. I don't know.
Yeah.
Within the range. Good or bad, right? Let's talk about that. But when we consistently want to be faithful in what our journey is, like let's just talk about consistency in that, because I think consistency can evolve into a lot of things that we want to be consistent on, right? You want to brush your teeth twice a day. If you haven't, might not be a bad idea to start. It's great, right?
Tiny rungs, huh?
Tiny rungs.
Start with the tiny rungs.
But if we're talking about like consistency over faithfulness, I think there has to be that element of surrender, right? There has to be that element of, I'm not sure what this timeline looks like. If you feel, and I'm when I say you, I'm looking at myself in the mirror, looking at myself on Zoom. When you feel a nudge from God, or you feel like he is calling you into something, you might not be ready for that. And I will say for myself, I wasn't ready for it. I'm like, you sure? You really? Right now? Okay, great.
Timing's not good. Timing's not good right now.
Right. Timing doesn't work for me. Works for you? Great. I'm on board.
Speaking of timing.
And so when we think about timing, and then we think about this immediacy, it's like, okay, well, I got to get this done because this is what I feel like I need to do. And I think there's that surrender aspect to find the consistency in the underlying purpose. And so for me, it's starting this new business. I mean, I'll be honest, it started, oh gosh, a year and a half ago when I first felt like I got the nudge. And sometimes even this past week, I was like, okay, are you're going? You're not, you're going? Like, you doing it? And it's not that I haven't done anything, but sometimes in my head, I'm like, oh gosh, if I would have done this more, I would have been here. But you know what I'm really proud of? Is the consistency.
Yes.
Because this is not easy. And if any of you know, to start your own thing, whatever it may be, whether it's in the self-care, workout, whatever, eating healthy, showing up differently for your family, more consistently, like anything that you want to do that's hard. I'm talking very specifically about this business. Finding consistency to continue to wake up and show up, because the underlying why and the purpose that you're doing it, you have the consistency over time. I'm going to call out Craig Gershaw. Big fan. If you haven't listened to his leadership podcast, big fan.
Yeah, good stuff.
Pop it in our links where you guys can follow along. But he was at the Global Leadership Summit, and I believe it was this past year, where he was talking about faithfulness plus consistency with time. That time aspect equals lasting impact. And that has stuck with me. Versions of that, right? Like versions of that resonate, I think, within our life, where it's like, it's really important to look at those. And so when I think of faithfulness, I think of our purpose, I think of surrendering, right? Consistency is just like that daily grind. It's that daily, it might be a half step one day, right? It might be a full step. It might be a couple steps backwards one day. And that's okay too, to then propel yourself forward.
Or that catalytic change step. Like,
all right.
It's that full spectrum of
Tell me more.
Of what that step is.
Tell me more.
Well, I think the interesting thing is, if you think about it, a lot of people lately, they are always, I've been seeing this a lot. There's like, tell your story, because, you see that, overnight someone's crazy famous, like, where did they come from, all of that. And it's those little steps and along the way. It's not that one, but it is that one just as much as it is that one that went backwards.
Mm-hmm.
The step that, the part of the action steps that then took you back what feels like years, versus being that one that is the one that breaks through. So it's all of them.
Yeah.
And I think it's in honoring and remembering and celebrating. So like, snaps to you, celebrating you for one, start knowing, having that nudge over a year ago, And you've made such good strides this year, even though I only know so much of what your story is and where you feel like you're back and forth or whatever it may be. But there are moments, there are weeks where it's like you did that and that and that, like you're getting it done. You're in it, you're doing the work. And because you are purpose driven, you are faith driven in your work. And that when you're faith driven, all you do is you sit in faith, you start in faith, and next thing you know, like you are moving forward. If it's not purpose driven, faith driven, and it feels willpower driven, or it feels just trying to put a round peg in a triangle hole, then it feels forced. When it's forced, it falls off. That motivation falls off. The energy, the drive, you burn all the fuel to be able to keep moving forward. And then you're questioning, why am I doing this? And if you're questioning, it's not a bad question to ask, because it comes back to are you coming back to that why? Are you shaving it down multiple times to get to the root of it? And if you're getting to the root of it, then that's the faith and the purpose. But if you're only at the top just for this XYZ, and it doesn't align, then granted, you could get far. You can get far if you want. If your determination, willpower, all those things are, but how much of that is your control versus his control? And so that's where some of those days, that's where those daily actions are of like, show me, help me to just make sure that I'm making these steps that are in alignment with you, because that's it. That's the impact, is that it's in alignment with what you want for your people, for the world. And I don't need this for anything else other than that, because why else would you give it to me? I'm listening. Like, actually, this is the calling that we're aligned. Like, this is what you've implanted in me, the desire to be to become that person who is walking with you.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. You also brought up, the antagonist of this, which is doubt, right, in our week. And I think that is when I think of, this last year and a half, and like you're saying, you're like, well, you've like done this in this amount of time. Like doubt is just like woven in there sometimes, right? And I think the finding my strength. And so when you're talking about willpower versus God's power, finding my strength in Christ versus in my own willpower, rooting it in Him allows you to say, okay, yes, I'm doubting. Why am I doubting? Do I need rest? Do I need pause? Do I need reflection? Do I need nature? There might be a reason where that's coming up, and that's allowing to, like, again, be in between my ears. And reflecting on that in faith of Him and giving it to Him, right? So again, going back to that surrender, opening your hands and keeping your hands open, right? Because it's very easy to close down. And I'm not saying I don't. Friday, I did, right? Like I did very much. Where Zach's like, don't think that way. I'm like, great advice. Thanks, honey.
Yeah, I'm still gonna think that way for right now, though.
Just can we just reflect on my moment? I'll get through it. I have faith. However, I'm having these thoughts, and I think that's the other thing, and being very real about it. We're talking about these consistencies and these successes. Like that doesn't always look like that. Consistency doesn't always look like success over time, right? Like in the immediacy. Yeah. But I know that next day I'm still gonna wake up with my why. I'm still gonna wake up with my purpose. I'm going to wake up in stillness with Christ and see what He's driving me to do. And I'm going to hope that I follow that, right? Because I'm not great at it. It's a practice. I'm in training to be more like Him. And so, I think another word that kept popping up this weekend as we were coming into today was vulnerability. I think finding some self-reflection also and opening allows you to build that consistency and that foundation to continue to overcome when those doubts creep in. because they're going to come. We live in an immediacy world, whether it's judging by somebody else that's a couple years ahead of you or not, this, that, and the other thing. When you take that stuff away and you just are in it, like you were saying, like for the betterment of the world, like we're doing this for a larger purpose than, a like, or this, whatever the achievement is of our worldly, accolades. Our purpose is driven differently. And I think that really helps with the consistency.
Yes. Thank you for saying vulnerability, because that'll probably be just as much as it's a practice, is a very common word that we've used over these past 2 seasons. Vulnerability is a key part of that too.
Yeah.
Because it's just in the presence and awareness. That's all it is. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's not telling you you're less than or you're this. It's all it is just giving you a perspective. I'm trying to think of the right word for it. I'm losing the word of it, but there's something that I've seen in Martin Luther King's book that with the term that he used in the sense of the perspective of like it's soft-minded, but maybe it's soft-hearted or something like that, but it's not a bad thing. Like you still have to have the grit behind it, but it's that type of grace. Maybe it's more of like a grace. I don't know. Anyways, grace and vulnerability for yourself, and being able to keep taking that, having that courage, which we talked about courage, having that courage to take that step, even if doubt is screaming at you, feel the fear and do it anyways. And doubt has been a nice little bell rattle, depending on the day, that is loud, like ringing ears consistently, or sometimes
turn that off.
Sometimes it just like ding and you're aware of it and then it goes away. But yeah, it's a good friend to have. Doubt is just an alarm that, okay, are you telling me something, or are you just going off because your circuit is broken? And we just need to
let's just fix that.
Let's just fix it. Let's make sure that we have the wires are correctly attached, so you can go off when you need to go off.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, so here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Since we're on this vulnerability.
Yeah.
Kind of landing at the moment. Where do you struggle with consistency in your life?
I think the struggle of it is, and this is like rooted deep, like this is therapy deep, of the doubt of, am I doing the right things, or am I saying it right? It's rooted in a sense of enoughness of, I would always be the one in class that didn't want to raise their hand for the fear of getting it wrong and being embarrassed. And so it's that same, so one would maybe say imposter syndrome. I've since not allowed myself to identify with that, because I did at one point of, am I enough, or am I saying the right things, especially in the sense of purpose and having 3 degrees and all that stuff and having the knowledge, but you still get it wrong. You could still not say the right things. Also in school, I was the one that I was a better learner through doing than I was in the books. And not to say I wasn't bad in the books, but yeah, information, sure. But once I got out and I did it, and next thing you know, I'm doing it, and it's like, and then people want to say, well, what are you doing? It's like, I don't know. I'm just doing it. I'm doing what I read and what I've learned and absorbed, because I'm more of an observer in that way. So all of that to say, the consistency, the doubt shows up in the sense of, is what you have to say or what you're doing the right thing? And that's, as I'm saying that, I can tell that it's me thinking that. It's not connected.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to those actions and those steps that I have no idea what I'm doing, and then on top of that, this may resonate with you a little bit for the fact of there aren't too many people doing what we're out here to serve and figure out to do. Yes, there are like some people that there's a relative model, like some things can fit into the status quo of how-tos because some things really aren't going to change, but the uniqueness of how the perspective of how we're approaching our purpose, no one else is really doing what we're doing. And so it's like, well, I'm supposed to figure this out.
No blueprint.
There's no blueprint. So, oh crap. And then that's where doubt starts to really be like, oh crap, what are we doing? Because, well, let me go just read a book. And maybe that's half of my problem of let me just go read a book and some things stick and some things don't. Are they just words on a page versus actually a full-on belief that is rooted in what he's showing me? Or what are those things that I'm taking so that I'm molding it into the uniqueness of how I perceive the world? So that's where that's the vulnerability of things for me is doubt creeps in that sense of am I doing the right thing? How about you? Let's flip it on back.
I think I resonate a lot with what you just said. Can definitely, I mean, even just, again, Friday, what I was struggling with was that, quintessential, I thought of the word, the imposter syndrome, right? It's like, am I good enough? Do you know what you're talking about? All of those things. The answers are yes. Yes, and because if I don't, I'm also okay saying I don't, and I will go find the answer. And building the community that supports whatever that need is, because I think there's a lot, to your point, and for the work that I'm doing, in our with our aging population, there's a lot that just hasn't been tapped, and or the knowledge is out there and the people are out there doing the research and they just haven't been brought into the light where people can absorb the knowledge. And so I think finding that for myself, like I don't need to be the subject matter expert on everything, but I know how to bring the subject matter experts together. And I think that for myself was like, okay, you don't need to know it all. It's okay. But you know how to bring it all together. That is what I feel like is one of the gifts that God has given me. It's like, let's bring it all together to customize that client-centric and person-centered approach versus just like a black and white ADA approach.
Right.
The bad one. Just saying there needs some tweaks to every individualized person.
I am like losing my mind over here because as you're saying that, I've been writing a lot in the past like couple of weeks of just seeing things that are quintessential of you're the bridge. And what you just said, my whole body said, you're the bridge. You're the bridge, Nicole. And the bridge, like we have the intellectual knowledge, and then we also have the intuitive understanding and God's wisdom on top, like intertwined with that. And so to be, you're the bridge, you're the cross that connects the two. You literally just said that, as you said, the white paper versus the community. And that's ultimately what you're here building is community. So how? I don't know, Lord, but you're showing me, right?
Right. Through the
show you how to be the bridge.
Yes. Through the habitual changes. I mean, if I want change, I need to change, right? Period. Said it before. I've heard it before. We all have heard, like, if you want change, you have to change. It is nobody else that is going to do it. And doing it within the power of Christ and doing it with him. It's going to far exceed expectations that I have, that you have, that anybody else has with whatever step they're trying to take forward or sideways. And that's okay too, right? Like it might be a pivot step. So the direction, I say forward, but that also may be backwards and to the side or a little bit diagonal because everybody's story is a little different. And that's an okay step to take. And so I do want to call that out too. Like sometimes we do need to take a couple steps back to then pivot to the side to go forward again, and whatever that looks like. But I will say, coming back to answer the question, so like I resonated with that in that way. However, I think the biggest struggle that I have with consistency is rooted in load. And I say that in for myself, it's in the volume of things that I have on my plate and time. And so we're all busy. I think we all talk about being busy. And it's very easy to be like, oh, I need a nap, right? Or, oh, and, oh, 5 more minutes, let me hit that snooze button, or this, that, and the other thing. And I think finding those small consistencies are hard when you have a lot on your plate. And whether that's, mentally, emotionally,
Yes.
Physically, carrying my children, they're getting very heavy. That's a lot. I am sore in the mornings. Some mornings. They're not tiny children. But like, I'm saying in general, like life happens a lot within our days and within our weeks, different conversations we have with loved ones or coworkers, or, the person in the grocery line that like affects your you don't either agree with what they said and it like bothers you, and you take that with you and you wear that weight, and you were gonna go and get coffee and do some journaling, and now you're upset and you don't want to do it, right? Like there's so many things that can just come in the way of driving those consistencies. And so for me, it's carving the importance out, and rooting that in my why. And so for me, my biggest, where do I struggle with that is literally in the word consistency because of time. Because I'm like, I'm too busy to do that. I'm too busy to do that. But if you continue to say that, you will be.
Yeah. What story are you telling yourself when you say that? And there's a sense of reality of it, but also too, if it is you're doing too much or there's no time, then what needs to be shaved off? What change needs to be made versus the loop of I don't have time, and then next thing you know, you haven't gone home in 10 years. Like that type of excuse in a way, I would say.
It
could be an excuse.
I would say it is. And for myself, I resonate with that. It's an excuse not to get started on something, right? It's an excuse not to get started on something that might be harder or unknown, which again, always are mountains when you start out.
Always.
And
why though? Why is it a mountain?
I think it's a mindset, right? You're stuck, right? We go back to the ping pong or pinballing in between our ears, where it comes through that self-doubt, and by combating that is driven in the consistency. So your consistency might not be like, okay, I'm going to start working on this business. These are the little things I'm going to do. That might not be your consistency. Your consistency might be like, I'm only going to hit the snooze once today. Like it's not necessarily like I'm going to build this business and be consistent with that. No, that's actually not the consistency that might drive you to do that. It might be, I'm going to hit the snooze once. I'm going to set my alarm 15 minutes earlier, right? Like those might be your consistencies that will then have a ripple effect to every other part of your life. And so that to me has really been a focus over this last year. So one, taking an inventory on my time spent. Where am I spending my time? Because if I'm too busy, everybody else has the same 24 hours I do.
Right.
What am I spending my time on? What am I spending, right? Time value. What do I value? So what am I spending my time on? Is that aligned with where I feel my nudge and my calling is? And if it is not, to your point, how do we slim it down or get rid of it?
Yeah.
To refocus. And then I'm like, oh, well, now I have a little bit more time. Right. And again, it's not always knowing what to do in that time. Like we even were talking the other week, and I made mention to you, is like, okay, usually Monday mornings, Tuesday mornings, I have carved out. I wake up early, because the babies are still sleeping, and I get some work done on this. But sometimes I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I'm still up. Right. And sometimes it's finding other things, right? So reconnecting with myself, right? So sitting in prayer and stillness and doing some meditation is actually a little bit more valuable than just sitting in front of a computer screen.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think those, those key things, it's like taking that inventory on your time, finding where you value, and then driving your consistency. And it doesn't have to be like, I'm going to rate this ebook, right? Like your consistency is, I'm going to wake up 5 minutes early. I'm going to only hit the snooze button once. And those are examples because those are mine.
No, and I so thank you for sharing that and saying that, because that's literally what it is. It is saying yes to those smaller things. And I know for me, the why I can get caught up is because I'm so focused on the mountain, on the outcome, the top of it, of being at the top, of what I feel that God-given desire of what the impact is, the lasting impact. And I want to already be there.
Yeah.
Whereas Angelica, you're also changing, you're evolving, you're transforming, you're being transformed, I should say, internally.
Yeah.
That you're ultimately, whether you get there or not, because he may take you this way and it looks a little bigger. But I think in knowing and feeling how what he has given me is bigger, there still are those smaller things that are continuing to transform and evolve and be weeded out, so that it is something that it's a becoming, it's a who, not a how.
Yeah.
Change the words around, and I just changed the letters around. And what does that look like? The how I'm showing up is the evolution within it. And it is that I literally did your scenario today. I set the alarm 15 minutes earlier and I snoozed just once. And I woke up and I was like, okay, let's go. Whereas if it were a regular Monday, I probably would have snoozed twice, a couple times. So it is those smaller things, the becoming of, and the change is self just as much as it is the action of doing for the business or doing for the project or all of that. Because if I'm not rooted in myself, what is everything else? If I'm not connected in the morning, or whether the routine looks the same or not, tomorrow morning I would be on a train by now. So it's the routine doesn't mean the same, but what time, like you said, that the value of time and connecting and being in relationship with God, that's that stepping out in faith, that faithfulness every day. That's every moment of the day, depending. It's so intertwined. It's small moments just as much as it is the big consistencies, the big things, the big tasks. So
I love that you said that. I love, it's especially in the moments where our life is inconsistent, but staying rooted in your consistencies that you're trying to, those habits that you're trying to instill within your life. So that value that you're giving in those moments, and you will see a ripple effect. And the one other thing I wanted to call out before we end today's, I also found the closer that I was to God and to God's word, the more clear I was. Within, my steps and clarity. I mean, like, okay, there's doubt comes, but doubt leaves, right? Because you know who you're rooted in. And so, we talk about on this podcast, just the little things. Here, I got my verse of the day, right? The Holy Bible app. Showed up on my phone at a certain time that I schedule. But staying close to him and his word, in the community, like our podcast here, our ebook that you can also get, staying close and building that community. And lots of research is out there, like you kind of develop the habits of those around you or what you surround yourself with. And so, finding that community, whether that be a church or, what have you, a group, it helps drive, those values and what you're truly trying to root in.
Love that. Make sure you check out our ebook on this chapter on consistency, and take time to just reflect in it. It's good work, reflection, and it just allows you to realign and just check in, make sure what you're called to do, what your purpose is, that you're able to continue to walk with God in it, I should say. Because it's rough out here. There's some rough terrain, but it's all good stuff if it feels like you're called for it. So with that, let's go be consistent today.
Tell me what your consistencies are. I would be interested to hear what people decide to embark on, if you would like to share.
Yes.
And mine is the alarm clock. I battle that thing every day. But that's mine.
I think mine is there's a big board over here. Mine is getting back to the things that matter, because there's always something that'll be a wrench.
Yes, I think that is very well said. So thank you everybody for listening. Really excited to hear and feel everybody's embarking in this journey, and what you can instill in your daily practices. Just one step at a time.
Yes, one step at a time. And until next week.
Take care.
As we bring today's journey to a close, we invite you to carry these reflections into your own wilderness moments this week.
Remember that growth rarely happens in comfortable spaces. It's in the questions, the uncertainty, and yes, even the doubts, where we often discover the essence of ourselves and our faith.
We're so grateful to have you walking alongside us on this path. Until next time, may you trust the journey, embrace the wilderness, and find God in the wild spaces. This has been Faith in the Wild podcast. I'm Angelica McCarthy.
And I'm Nicole Moran. Thank you for listening.